From our studio in Southern California, the hotbed of car culture, covering all things automotive. Welcome to In the Garage with Dennis. Here's your host, Dennis Pitzenbarger.
Welcome to the show. I've got a very special one for you today because I'm going to take you into the world of car care. Now, we want to make sure if you have a chance, go to our website, be a fan of our show, also on Facebook and Twitter. But we want to take you into that world of taking care of your paint. And I've got none other than Mike Pennington, my friend from Meguiar. How you doing?
Fantastic to be here.
It's great to have you because I don't think the audience realize how complex car care can really be. You guys have made it simple, but before we get into that, I want you to tell the story behind Meguiar's because it started in 1901 and it wasn't even with cars.
Well, you're spot on, and we got a great history. And what's fascinating is that 1901 start was really Barry's grandfather working on furniture and, you know, cleaners and polishes and really making furniture look good. And what's great is there's not a lot of cars back then, so he had the know-how to understand on those first cars that were wood and varnished. Let's try it on this. Next thing you know, we're off and running through the first cars that were, you know, black lacquers and all those transition to the different kind of paints. Here we are today in 2013 with all kinds of products for cars, boats, you name it, we have the product for it.
And you've made it into a very simple system. You know, people sometimes get overwhelmed. I think you called it the wall of confusion when you walk into that auto parts store. But you guys have taken it down to 5 simple steps. What are those steps?
Well, on paint care, you know, that's probably the number one challenge we have is consumers are thoroughly confused, hence the name wall of confusion. But it's really quite easy if you step back and think about it. That first step is washing a car, and I think we've all washed a car once or twice in our lives.
Oh, yeah.
That's designed to remove all the loose contaminants, the dirt, the dust on a regular basis, and we recommend about once a week on that to keep your car looking good. But that next step is cleaning, and that is really vital because that includes products like clay and some of your modern compounds not only make the surface smooth, but that step is where all the swirls, the oxidation and stains are actually removed, and that cleaning step is really what makes your car look ultra good and ultra perfect.
And I've always referred to that as kind of the surface of the moon kind of analogy, that you want to make that paint smooth. A lot of people don't realize that paint, if you looked at it on a microscopic level, is really jagged. You take those edges off and then you don't have glare, you don't see the spider webs.
Yep, that is exactly right, and that's when that gloss and that black car looks like you can dive into it. It's all in that cleaning step. The next step of that cycle is polishing. You know, remember the old word glaze back in the day?
Oh yeah.
You know, hand glazing, machine glazing, that's very similar, if not the same, to polishes. And that's like putting lotion on your skin. There's no sunscreen or no ability to really remove defects. All it does is rich, dark, and make that surface look really wet. And that's really an optional step these days on some of the newer cars. But the last step that everybody knows is certainly waxing and protecting your car. It's like putting sunscreen on your skin. So again, wash, clean, polish, protect. That last step is maintenance. That's the quick detailers that we all keep in our trunk when we're driving around, get the bird droppings off, get those sprinklers off. That's keeping your car looking like it was just detailed every day.
Well, now we've got a couple great examples right here. I have a 2013 GTI Volkswagen Let Me Drive.
Love the color.
Great little turbocharged 200 horsepower engine, got the DSG transmission. This is one of the funnest cars I've ever had a chance to drive. But we've also been lucky enough, Auctions America set us up with a true, not only a GT350 Hertz edition car, but a very rare one with white versus the black and gold.
Beautiful.
Now I gotta ask, when you talk about those 5 steps, is there a difference between something like a brand new car someone might buy off a dealership for, or something that's a classic like the Mustang?
Well, you know, we get that question a lot at shows, especially all the shows that we attend, and really those 5 steps are the same on both of these vehicles or both the kinds of paints. But what you got to understand is the paint on some of these original classics was much different. So some of those products that were designed for those paints back in the day work great on that, but should never be used on today's modern clear coats because they're so sensitive. They scratch really easy by hand, by machine. So a lot of the modern products out there will say clear coat safe, and they're designed for these clear coats. The great thing is if you're working on a modern clear coat and you're using a clear coat safe product, it'll work on some of these classics over here. Just don't go the other direction.
Well, sure, because you're talking about lacquer paint versus a urethane clear coat, big difference. Example. And that's that old body and paint guy in me.
That's it.
Now, what I want to do next is take you into a couple of examples. First, we're going to jump onto the stainless and chrome because Mike will tell you, and I'll agree with him, that a paint is something that people will take a lot of time to make sure it looks perfect. But then that paint, that stainless and that chrome really frames that up. So we'll take a chance to see what products you have to make sure that that looks great. Then we'll take another step and do an example on the GTI with wheels, because one of the things that just drives me crazy is you'll see a nice clean car and brake dust and gunk all over the rim, and you know you hate it just as much as me. So hang on for a second.
Set of shoes.
Oh gosh, it's horrible. Now listen, we're going to take a couple seconds to talk about one of our sponsors, and then we're going to dive into this, a GT350, and show you how to make it look just right. When we're not taking care of paint on the show, we want you to make sure and take care of your vehicle. And that's why we want to make sure and talk about Royal Purple's HPS. It's recommended for vehicles no longer under warranty and for those seeking a higher level of performance and protection. It's fortified with a high level of ZDP anti-wear additives and Royal Purple's proprietary additives technology, Centerlic. Independent tests have shown that HPS outperforms other leading synthetic and conventional oils for gasoline and diesel engines. All right, Mike, I've got tools of the trade here. Obviously, always good to have a rag with me, but also applicator and the metal finish polish. Now, this comes in 3 different levels depending on what type of metal you're working on and what kind of cut you want, right?
Absolutely, and tools is so important. So clean towel, clean applicator, and really choosing the right metal polish. We offer 3. We offer a heavy cut polish, a medium cut polish, and of course a finishing metal polish here. And if you're working on chrome or any type of metal, it's so important to choose the right one. So we're working on stainless, so we're going to choose the least aggressive.
Well, let's see what you got here. Let's see how this works. Now, I think it's safe to say that a little dab will do you. Why don't you go ahead and give us a little demonstration.
Great. Again, a good clean foam applicator. And as you can see, a little bit is all we need. Go to all those surfaces that are stainless, like for example on this vehicle around those windows, certainly in this grill here. As you begin to gently massage all this stainless, you'll see that we're starting to polish it up, and you're going to really begin to get that stainless bright like it should be. So as you keep working, just spend a little time. Great Saturday afternoon project. And once you massage that, take a good clean microfiber towel.
Take that off your hands.
Give it a couple of clean wipes. Flip that towel over. And as you can see, in a very short amount of time, we're starting to get that really pop that you're looking for, especially on a grill. Nothing better than a grill that looks, you know, bright and brilliant.
And you can really see the difference on that. I mean, side to side, I mean, this is certainly a gorgeous car, but a little bit of extra detail work like that will make any classic look great.
Absolutely, and it's really not that hard to do. Again, the right products, the right finishing product, you know, that's going to be gentle and safe, and you're going to turn out fantastic, almost like you're a pro.
I'd like to think I'm a pro. Well, just take a break real quick, and then we'll move on to the chrome bumpers.
Fantastic.
All right, Mike, one of the things that I get made fun of by my friends who I race with is I'm always using the wrong tools and wasting time. You guys got a little moniker. What is it?
Right products, right tools, and right techniques will always get the job done better and quicker.
Well, and I've got the right products. Now, we did that great little demonstration on the stainless, but a lot of people will spend big dollars re-chroming a bumper rather than just spending a little time restoring it. Tell me about these 2 products.
Well, that's what's great about the medium cut polish and our heavy cut polish is before you spend the money to possibly re-chrome, in many cases you can restore, especially if it's an original vehicle, you're trying to keep that originality of it, is grab some of these more aggressive products, because chrome, believe it or not, will take a lot more from the aggressive side, and you can really work and massage that and restore a lot of chrome bumpers, even chrome wheels, very easily. And they look brand new.
I want to ask you a question. We talked earlier about whether these products are good for an older restored or going to be restored car versus a new car. Is there any reason I can't use this on my new car?
On chrome, as long as you've got chrome, it's going to be pretty much the same whether it's a classic or a brand new. Chrome wheels are great for these 2 products. Vintage cars are great for these 2 products. Fantastic. Safe either way.
Now, as old school guys, we have a secret weapon, the old 00 steel wool. Can I use this in combination with this? Is that maybe the right applicator, or how do I tie these 2 in together?
Certainly, you're always going to want to go to that steel wool, and even sometimes a 4/0 steel wool is going to be even less aggressive. So only pull that steel wool out worst case scenario. Between medium and heavy, you'd be surprised at what it can restore, but steel wool works really good on chrome. But here's a little tip. Don't use steel wool on stainless or polished aluminum, brass, copper. Leave that steel wool for the chrome.
All right. Well, now that we're kind of done playing around with that great GT350 Hertz edition supplied by Auctions America, let's move over to the other thing we were going to talk about and do a demonstration on. I want to know how to make sure that everybody out there watching has a chance to really know how to clean the new cool wheels on their new car. We'll be back in just a second. Really quickly, before we do our demonstration on the GTI wheel, I want to talk about one of our sponsors, Craftsman and Craftsman Tools. Whether it's a small job in your house or a big job in a restoration car in your garage, Craftsman Tools are always going to have the right tool for the right job. Make sure and check them out at craftsman.com. They're also available at Ace Hardware stores. Craftsman, made to make. On to our next demonstration. On this great little GTR, these trick-looking 18-inch rims. Now, the one thing I think is crazy is even on this GTI, they put P0 Neros on this thing, high-performance tires on a little runabout. But we want to make this wheel look good. It's got gunk on it, and I like to drive this car hard. I want to make brake dust all over these wheels appear because I want to go deep in the corners, and one of those things you get is brake dust. So, Mike, do your magic and tell me what I'm going to do to make these things look like brand new.
Well, we all want our wheels to look good, whether they're, upgraded factory or even aftermarket wheels that you put on to really customize that car. And again, you said brake dust is really, nobody wants brake dust. So the first thing to think about is really choosing the right product or wheel cleaner, because there's a lot of different kinds of surfaces on wheels. This particular one here is factory coated. But if you think about it, there's powder coated, there's anodized, there's polished.
Oh yeah, my old polished slotted mags.
There you go, 2-piece, 3-piece. They're all very sensitive, and that's why we offer 3 different wheel cleaners, from chrome wheel cleaner, that's going to be our most aggressive for chrome wheels, all the way down to an aluminum wheel cleaner that is designed for those real sensitive polished aluminum wheels that a lot of hot rodders have. I use a lot of this myself on my car. So really the tip here to do is always start with a cool wheel. Don't drive it hard on the track, pull in and start cleaning your wheel. Let it cool down first, and if you have to take a hose and spray it down to cool it, that's okay to do. But if we simply feel this, we know that there's no heat in those whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead and grab our Hot Rims all-wheel and tire cleaner. This is designed for all those factory-coated wheels to not only clean the wheel, but clean the tire. And it's really as simple as start from the bottom of the wheel and start slowly working your way up.
Now, one of the things I've always been worried about with cleaners is, am I going to damage or discolor things behind the wheel, like the brake caliper? Am I going to run into that with some of these products?
Well, that's a great point. And when you're thinking about choosing that wheel cleaner, you should also look at all your components, whether they're suspension or brake that you have behind that, and really choose the wheel cleaner for the most sensitive area. Luckily, on this particular car, it's got factory brakes, so our all-wheel and tire cleaner is going to be the great choice. As you can see, it has really taken off a lot of that old tire dressing, and that's crucial for making your new tire dressing not sling up the side of the car. So if you got some stubborn areas, there's a lot of great brushes on the market, not only for the face of the brush, but if you got some tough to reach areas, simply take some of these special brushes and they can really be your best friend to get in there and clean that inner barrel.
And I want to make a mention of that. I hate it when you see a clean wheel on the outside, but you see all the stuff on the inside. Just that little bit of extra is going to make it look so much better.
It's all about the details, and that's why these brushes with the special rubber tips are made, to really get back in there and just spend a little bit of time. And in some cases, a lot of guys, if you're prepping for a concours, go ahead and take that wheel off. Now that it's sat here, always follow directions, and let's take that water and just freely rinse this wheel off real good. The tip on rinsing is really make sure your lug nuts get rinsed out, your inner barrels get rinsed out, and while you're at it, you might as well even spray that inner fender well and get some of that dirt and grime out of there. And really do one wheel and tire at a time. A lot of people spray the tire, go to the next wheel, go to the next wheel, go to the next wheel, but really take the time, slow down, complete one wheel and tire at a time, then go on to go ahead and wash your car, and it's going to turn out fantastic.
Well, this one sure did, and I appreciate your time. And I got to tell you, man, it's those simple steps, slowing down and making it look right.
Yep.
So why don't we stand up, make sure our knees still work. And I got to say, thank you for coming by the program. Really do appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
If people want more information about your products, what you do and how you can do it, where do we send them?
Well, you can call us 6 days a week at our customer care center at 800-347-5700. You can connect with us on Meguiars.com, connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'd love to talk to you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Mike Pennington from Meguiars. This is Dennis Pitzenberger signing off. One more time, make sure if you get a chance, go to our website and be a friend of our Facebook and our Twitter pages. And until the next time, we'll see you then.